But first of all, I want to thank all you guys that are here today to listen my speech. And I want to thank all the people that make this event happen for the second year in a row. I'm Mattia Valerio Toscano, and I will talk about design for developers and why make UI can make the design beautiful, buildable, and maintainable. Before I start, I want to say a few things about me. I'm Mattia Valerio Toscano. I have a bachelor degree. Non funziona. I have a bachelor degree in digital cultures and communication. I have a master degree also in digital sociology and web analysis, both at Federico II of Napoli. Also, I got a certification from the Apple Academy as a developer, and now I'm working as a junior UI UX designer for Mood Global Service in Amsterdam. But the first question that appears to us is what beautiful really means. As we know, beautiful has different meaning for different person, and this happen also in the Web3. That's because for example, for the client perspective, beautiful can means, I don't know, a button can that can represent the brand identity. All the design have to be in focus and be unique over the functionality. Maybe instead for the user, beautiful could mean something that easy, familiar to see, that every time that you go on the website, you don't have to scroll too much, you don't have to do too many things, but you have already all the buttons, all the things that look familiar and easy to navigate. But the most important person for make the website good is the developer. The developer need to have the component structurable, maintainable, but the most important things is that the component. Sono scomparse qua le slide. Non c'ho le slide qua di nuovo. Okay, but the most important thing is that the component can be reusable, because if a good design is a design that we don't have to rebuild again other time, but a design that stay in the time. Sorry for this problem today with this speech. This example, for example, show perfect what I'm saying. For example, the client could say, "I love this color." For the user, could be is easy to see, easy to use. But the most important person for make an app, for make a website, is the dev. And as I say, the reusable component is the most important things. But when design become a problem, there are some symptoms for a bad developer hostile UI. One of these is the custom UI, so an over-narrative button that can confuse the user and introduce accessibility issue. Or also an over-engineer inputs that, for example, the complex animation may slow down the performances. Another example of a big problem could be the poor componentization, so lack of clean modular structure that leads to inconsistent code and harder maintenance. As this slide show perfect, it is not only important the aesthetic, but also the form. They go both together, because as you can see, the button should be a button that not distract the user, but a button that is similar to use, easy to use. The solution to this problem is use Material UI plus Figma. This is a practical function for design development alignment, because on Figma you can put auto layout and flexbox synergy. For example, the dev have all the auto layout, responsive code, and the layout is scalable and developer friendly. Also, you can share design token, for example, as text, color, you share everything with the dev. In this case, he don't have to redesign everything, and he don't have to redesign the code. But as I said before, the components are really important in MIUI. Why? Because if we put, for example, we can name the component. For example, we use primary button or variant, and this for the dev is really good because you don't have to rebuild anything. Everything is already built in the design. Here in this slide, show it perfectly, because as you can see, Different buttons show different code direct in CSS. The border is different, the background, everything. So the developer doesn't need any type, any kind of knowledge about code, because Figma give to it everything ready. Sometimes people think that sustainable design is boring, but it isn't, because good design are the one that survives product cycles. For example, if they are framework agnostic, they don't require major overhauls. The simplicity always wins. So we have to avoid unnecessary complexity, future-proof, for speed up everything. And the most important thing is the clear documentation. So we have to share with the dev a clear documentation, for example, on Notion, where the code is all shared together. So the design and the dev can always talk, and the code will be the same as for the design and for the developer. There are 3 golden rules that we have to keep in mind. And these are the respect the native elements. So we don't have to reinvent button, because Material UI already give to us a full library with the full button, cards, and everything already presetted with auto layout. So we don't have to reinvent nothing. We have to avoid the redundancy, because duplicating functionalities maybe can create some confusion in the user experience, and use Figma as a source of truth. Because we have to treat design like a living documentation, not just as a static mockup. As I said before at the start, the best UI is the one that you don't redesign, because good design works months later, not just at the start, because they are timeless aesthetics. So we have to choose an aesthetic that can be relevant behind the trends and behind the years. We have to think about a user-centric feature, so prioritize the functionality that genuinely solves problem rather than create another one. And also a future-proof of code, so a robust architecture that can prevent technical debt, or for example, slow down performances. Naming is also an important thing, as I said before also, because as you can see, you can call on Figma all the components. For example, atoms, button, primaries, molecules. If we follow this order, we ensure scalability and clarity for both design and developers. And with an unified document space on Notion or Storybook, we can share with the dev the design tokens, component usage, and interaction patterns. Before I leave, I want to give you some takeaway for a good development harmony, design development harmony. And these are collaboration is fundamental, because as I said before, we have to use always Figma plus Material UI, because in this way we have a shared language between developer and designer. We have to choose simplicity for ensure longevity. The documentation is not negotiable, because we have to treat it as a living resource. In this case, we can reduce the development effort, and we have to choose sustainability over the speed. At the end, the ultimate goal, because the goal in the end is symbiosis, not separation. I wanna give you these few things. So we have to we have to collaborate from designer developers and speak the same language. In this way, we work together for all the time. We have to find a future-proof solution, so a system that adapts the new technologies and user need without constant redesigning. And at the end, we have to think about a user-centric efficiency, so interfaces that delight user while building stay maintainable. So guys, this is my speech. I wanna thank you all. If you have some question, I'm here. And again, thank you to all the staff for NapulETH for this event this year.